Hey everybody. Today we have a really great training. I know I say that every single week, but this training is going to talk about the difference between growing your business and scaling your business because there are a lot of differences when you're at those two phases in your business. Now, if you're here with me live, comment below, say hey. If you're watching the replay, comment with #replay so I know that you were able to catch it. Now, let me pull my notes up so I don't forget what I'm saying because with ADHD, you can just kind of go all over the place and who knows what's going to come out of your mouth, right? So, all right, now growing and scaling your business, two very different things, okay? So when you're in the growth phase, you're trying to figure out what to sell, what feels really good to you, what feels really exciting. You're learning how to price your services without undercharging. You're learning how to sell and not feel sleazy. You're learning how to confidently show up online, show that you're the best at what you do, how to sign clients on a consistent basis. You're working with the clients that you actually want to be working with and not just signing any client who comes to you to pay the bills. And you're trying to figure out what tools to use and what systems you need. And the list goes on and on and on, right? Like when you're in that growth phase, it feels like everything is new, right? You feel like everybody showing up on social media knows the secrets to success and you're just barely treading water, right? But then something crazy happens, right? This online world, this business that you're creating, it starts to make sense, okay? For some people, this happens more quickly than others. It took me a long time for business to make sense because I was getting so distracted with everything, right? For other people, it clicks much more quickly. Now, once you're at this phase, you have clients, potential clients sliding into your DMs. You're having conversations with people, you're booking discovery calls, and before you know it, you're booked out and you're freaking out, right? Because you're thinking, okay, this is great, but if I get one more client, I'm screwed. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do because this thing that you built from scratch is now a real business, right? So you have to start thinking about hiring people to help you, paying taxes, paying way more in taxes than you thought you ever would have to, creating back-end systems, having a real marketing strategy, showing up as a true CEO instead of just calling yourself one, right? And it gets really overwhelming because you were in this one stage where you were trying to learn how to do everything in this stage. And then now you're noticing that you're in this scaling stage and you're like, holy crap, I have to learn all of this other stuff too, right? And it gets really overwhelming. But nobody's really talking about what to do after you book out your services, okay? Nobody's really talking about how to get to that next level if you're already working at all hours of the day, right? So this is what happens when you're at that scaling stage, right? You have figured out what you're great at. You know what you want to do. You know who you want to work with. You know the people that are those dream clients, right? You have proven results for the clients that you've worked with. You're ready to work less. Like you're done. You want to focus more on like the high level strategy with your clients. You don't want to do the nitty gritty stuff anymore, but you're like, how do I continue to serve my clients at a really high level? Like, how do I scale my business? How do I start treating my business like an actual freaking business when I don't even have the time to do what I'm doing now? So let's break it down. I have a couple of tips for you, okay? So first things first, make sure that you have one six-figure signature offer. I say this pretty much every week because it's so incredibly important. You need to make sure that your offer, your service that you're selling, that there's one of them, and that it is scalable so that you can actually scale your company. A lot of the times, people will offer a service that is not scalable. What that ends up doing is they're overcomplicating the back end of their business and it won't allow them to scale. Okay. It's also not sustainable for the long term. So that's the other thing. Make sure it's scalable, make sure that it is sustainable. Okay. So pick one thing, focus on that until you get to multiple 6 or 7 figures. Okay. Number 2, figure out what's actually happening in the back end of your business. Now, you cannot hide from the back end of your business. Even the most tech savvy people that I know, they get really overwhelmed with everything happening in the back end of their business. And especially the people who say that they don't like the systems and business side of things. This is where a lot of people struggle because things just fall to the wayside, right? You're so busy working with your clients that the things in the background behind the scenes are just a hot freaking mess. And it gets to a point where you're just like, I don't even know what to do. So you may attempt to hire somebody to come clean it up for you, but at the end of the day, that never really works, right? If you've done this, you understand what I'm saying, because you, as the founder, the CEO of your business, you need to understand what's happening on the front end of your business and the back end of your business, okay? You also need to, number 3, set up the necessary systems to scale, okay? So I'm not just talking about a client onboarding funnel. I'm not talking about like setting up a project management tool. We need to think long term here, okay? And this goes back to making sure you have your 6-figure signature offer, right? Once you have that one offer, it makes everything so much easier on the front end and the back end. And then also understanding what the heck is happening on the back end of your business, right? That will help you figure out what systems you need to scale, okay? Hiring the right people to complete the right tasks. That's number 4. We're not just outsourcing anymore. We're not just getting work off of our plate for the sake of it. We are being strategic, okay? We are thinking about long-term goals. We are thinking about hiring people and putting them in the right roles to support your company, okay? Number we're up to 5, doing the mindset work, because what got you to the level that you're at right now will not get you to the next level that you want to go. I promise you this. The things that you had to work through to get to whatever level you're at now, say you're at, I don't know, 5 to 8K a month, that will not help you get to the 10, 20, 30K months, okay? It's a whole different level of mindset work that we have to do to make you feel comfortable with reaching those levels of revenue and also working a lot less, okay? The next point, I don't even remember what number I'm on at this point, 5, 6, 7, I don't know. Get into the room with people who are at the same level as you or the level that you want to be. So this is where masterminds are really great, because it can be great to connect with other people, to learn from them, and to showcase your skill sets. Now, this is true masterminds. I'm not talking about like group programs. I'm talking about a true mastermind where everybody's learning from everybody, okay? And lastly, you're not running a small side hustle anymore, right? So you can't treat it that way. This is a living, breathing company, and you need to make sure that you are making decisions like a CEO would, okay? You need to be an action taker. You need to invest in people to support you, to help speed up your growth, and to get you to that level that you want to be at, okay? So if you are at this scaling stage right now and you're ready to trust your team and delegate effectively and just hire a team member in the first place and feel like a CEO and not an imposter who just puts CEO in their Instagram bio, and run a company that excites you and fulfills your larger mission in life, and just stop feeling overwhelmed every day and actually take weeks and months off at a time, something is coming for you next week. So make sure that you stay tuned. All of the details will be announced very, very soon. I will pop it in your email first, and then I will share the details in here. So stay tuned. And that is all that I have for this week. So if you were here with me live, glad that you were able to be here, and I will see you all next week.